Hi, good afternoon. This is Jason Shaves, Lucky Kid. Today we are live here with you, Sensory Deal Live. And let me double check to make sure we are actually live. We have some technical difficulty earlier with our live stream. So for those of you that's hopefully watching the live stream, please comment in the comment box below. So we are double checking out, make sure our equipment and everything is live so we can proceed with today's shows. I do see there's one live viewer on the live stream right now, so please comment below and let us know where you're tuning in from in the comments, so we can make sure this is going smoothly. There's no more technical difficulties. so let me double check on my side as well. Okay, I do see we are live on Facebook. So thank you for everyone's patience as we're trying to having some technical difficulty earlier today. So again, I'm going to bring Brian off the screen for a little bit. And first of all, thank you so much for joining us on today's live streams. Sensory Deal, we haven't had an episode for a few weeks. And so thank you for joining us, and where we'll be talking about the best deal, the most awesome giveaways on different sensory toys, educational tool, and kids product, all in one spot. So for today's Sensory Deal Live, we will be doing a special interview with owner of HandiThings, Brian. His name is Brian. And before I go there, first of all, I want to make a special announcement. For the month of October, we are doing a special giveaway here in Lucky Kid. This is actually our 5th anniversary as a company. From the bottom of my heart, I want to thank all of our customers and all of our supporters throughout the year. And as a lot of you that know my backstories, I have a kid. Actually, my son has special needs, and he is my passion, and he's also the reason why I started Lucky Kid back in 2017. But this business is not always a very smooth journey. I would say this is really a roller coaster ride, as we went through the pandemic and we went through a whole bunch of different issues here as rest of the U.S. economy. And I really appreciate and I'm really, really thankful for every single one of our customer, every single one of our supporter. Without you, we won't be here today. I won't be speaking with you today on the show without all of your support. So thank you so much. And as a way to give back to all of our supporter, this month we're doing a special giveaway. Every single week, we are giving away a Countdown Corner Kit, which is a combination of several of our different products. To learn more about our special anniversary giveaway, please visit luckykid.com/giveaway, where you can enter and win the prize. And this is our way to give back to all of our supporters and all of our loyal customers. Thank you so much for supporting us over the year. So today's the show will be talking a little bit about fine motor skill, and we'll be talking about whether or not your kids have sensory issue. Fine motor is one of the many skills that our kids need to learn and master, especially the proper pencil grip. And for today's guest, he have a very unique product and a very unique company that is really going to help on those needs. So I'm going to have Brian on the show here. And let me double check here. Okay, so Brian, thank you again for thank you for joining us on the show. And sorry about the technical difficulty that we have earlier. I think right now we are live now. So, I think, Brian, you are the second generation owner of HandiThings, and HandiThings is a creator of many different unique sensory products. And you and your fiance are dedicated to make high quality products to help kids on all different ages with their daily lives. And your mission is really closely aligned with Lucky Kids, is to offer the best quality product and delivering the best customer care. And it's my honor to have you on the show today.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and start with the agenda, since we have a little bit of hiccup earlier, so we are a little bit behind schedule, but we should be fine. So Brian, you want to introduce yourself to our audience today?
Sure. My name is Brian Heinz. I live in a suburb of St. Louis, a little town called Moscow Mills, Missouri. And I have 5 children, most of whom are grown and out of the house now. And I have been running HandiThings since the beginning of 2017. And in this last year, with the help of my fiance Carrie, we're making some big changes and really trying to grow the brand and the product and make sure it reaches all over the world where it needs to be.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. And I think you have some very unique products. So during the later part of today's show, and for those of you that's watching live, please also let us know where you're tuning in from, and we will have a special giveaway for the live viewer only. That we'll actually be giving out one of the HandiThings product at the end of the show as well. So the next question I have is like, can you tell the viewer a little bit more about like how HandiThings started? I know this is a family business and you are like the second generation owner of the business.
Right.
Would you mind sharing a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. So my mom worked as a COTA for over 40 years. And in her work with special needs kids, one of the things that she was focusing on was trying to help them learn how to write properly and have the proper pencil grip. So she's kind of a visionary and a thinker and a creator. So she would look at all of the aspects of what's considered to be by OTs a proper tripod grip. And she incorporated all of these different parts of this unique product in order to address every single one of those issues. And it started out pretty basic. She was using, like a cotton ball and a rubber band, and I think at one point she had a fishing bobber worked in there. But yeah, after fine tuning it, and it's kind of funny to think back on how it first started and where we're at today. But after a lot of fine tuning over the years, she developed what is now known as the HandiWriter and is being used all over the world.
Oh, thank
So
you for
that
sharing that.
basically, once that product really took off, that's what really started this company. They didn't set out to necessarily create a business, but because it was such a unique product and so popular, it just kind of came about. And the rest, as they say, is history.
I see. Thank you for sharing that part of the story. And I think it's a very interesting dynamic when you work with your families. So my next
Yeah.
question is like, what is it like working with your parents and sister? And keep in mind, I also work with my sister. Actually, my sister also work in the same company, Lucky Kid, I'm working in. So I
Right.
also have some experience working with my family, but I just want to hear it from your perspective.
Well, I got to tell you, overall, it's been great. It really has. It's funny. I think back to 20, 25 years ago, sitting around my parents' kitchen table, myself, my parents, my sister, her husband, uh, just creating an assembly line, making HandiWriters. And it's kind of funny to think back then about how much it's changed. We tie a knot and then we pass it to the next person and they tie another knot and put hot melt glue in. And then we'd have to lay them all out and let them dry for a certain amount of time.
Mhm.
And then my dad had created this jig that we'd put them in and test the strength of them. It was a process. And we'd just take a Saturday and sit there for 6, 8 hours, put some music on, and make 1,000 HandiWriters. And it's kind
Mhm.
of funny. My folks obviously were the visionaries of this. My mom created the product. My dad helped her form the business. He's very good with spreadsheets and analytics and computers. And I mean, to this day, I use these incredibly elaborate spreadsheets he's created that thank God he did it, because I'd never be able to figure things like that out. I use them every single day. And
Mhm.
then my sister she was more involved than me in the beginning stages, because she did a lot of the sewing and development of some of our other fine motor products. But
Mhm.
she's also the one that really changed the HandiWriter and came up with a brilliant way to make it where we didn't need the
Mm.
glue anymore. We didn't need to have to test them. It's just a series of kind of intricate knots that
Mhm.
tie the whole thing together, and it resulted in a much sturdier and safer product that was also easier to make with less steps. So we were able to produce more of them. So
Mhm.
throughout the years, especially when I first took over the company, I was calling my parents. It became a joke, 5, 6, 7 times a day, to where they'd answer the phone just laughing because I'm like, well, I got another question because I don't know what I'm doing here. But, it gets to the point where now, I call them just to say hi. How are you doing? How's things? I've gotten a really good hold on the company now. My sister was very instrumental in helping develop our logo. She's not only a brilliant artist, she's a very good graphic designer. So, I told her I kind of wanted to give the company a facelift when I took over, and I had this vision in my head of a logo that I wanted to be very colorful. Our products are all very colorful. I wanted it to be engaging and fun and something that you kind of fixate on. So, I gave her this idea. I wanted some hands in it, obviously, because of the name HandiThings.
Yeah.
And I just kind of threw that all at her, and she came up with very close to this. And through fine tuning, we sat down, changed the font around, and came up with this logo that I absolutely love. It's the face of our company. So all that, they still, even though I run most of the things now, they were very involved and still are. I bounce ideas off of them here and there. They're a wealth of knowledge and help me out whenever I need it.
Yeah, thank you for that. Sounds like a very strong team.
Oh, absolutely.
For
Yeah.
sure. So yeah, so let me adjust some of our live viewer here. We have let's see, Deborah, thank you for joining us. Let's see, we have Paige and also people that are saying happy 5th anniversary. Thank you so much. And we also have viewers that are saying hello, Brian. Thank you for your time. And
You're welcome.
and we also have viewers that are saying that will be great for OT therapy for sure. And we
Absolutely.
also have hello from Angela from Florida. She is a homeschool mom of 3 kiddos. Her middle child is in OT therapy twice a week with for hamstrings. And she also have 2 kids with ADHD tendencies, and they use many of the different sensory tools to learn and concentrate during the school. So yeah, Angela, thank you for sharing. And I think Brian's company's product, some of the product will be really interested and will be very interesting, and definitely check out some of the product that we'll be talking about today with Brian's company. So let me continue on for today's interview here. So my next question here is, growing up around this business, what is your personal experience with the product? Do you have any special moments that you want to share?
Well, obviously, experience with the products themselves would relate to, again, sitting around the table making them. And even after that, I remember for years and years, I would sit on my couch watching TV in the evening, making handy writers, tying them, for my folks. As far as is going back, my experience overall, when I was young, we didn't have a lot. My parents couldn't afford daycare, so my mom would take me to work with her every day up until I started going to kindergarten. So I spent my first 5, almost 6 years around special needs kids because I was able to interact with them. I would even sit in on their classes, and it was amazing because to me that was just normal. That was life. That's what I experienced every day. So I developed a very close bond with them, especially a lot of the kids with Downs. And today, when I see people with Downs, they just have a very special place in my heart because of what I grew up with. We have some friends that have kids with Downs, and they are just the sweetest people in the world. They're very loving. They're very wonderful, and I love and enjoy being around them. So being able to do what I do today, given all those years ago, what I got to experience has just been an absolute blessing, and I love it.
Thank you so much for sharing. And I have a live viewer asking question about the product, which we'll dive into in the second part of the show. And for this week, we are actually doing a special deals since we are launching this HandiThings and Handy Writers on Amazon right now. Please visit sensorydeal.com for information on how to get it for 20% off. And you can also check out the product. So I'm going to transition to the second part of today's shows, which will be talking and sharing some of the product that we'll be talking about today. So I'm going to showcase one of the instructional video about the product. Then we can talk a little bit more because this product is so unique. Without watching that instructional video, even our photographer couldn't figure out how to really use it correctly. Right. So I want to share that. Then we'll get back to the show here. So.
HandiThings HandiWriter is designed to facilitate the correct positioning and holding of a writing tool. To use the HandiWriter, place the wristband around the wrist with the pencil loop located at the top of the wrist and the cord at the bottom. Hold the charm in the palm of the hand using the ring finger and pinky finger. Grasp the pencil between the thumb and first two fingers, then place the pencil loop around the upper end of the pencil. This will create the proper tripod grasp. The HandiWriter works on either right or the left hand. Around the upper end of the pencil. This will create the proper tripod grasp.
Yeah, so as you can see, this is a very, very unique product. So Brian, can you kind of explain to the viewers on exactly what it does? And maybe I think you have a actual product that you can also do a live demo so the viewer can understand the product a little bit better. So.
I do. So basically, like I explained earlier, when my mom was developing this product, she was looking at the different aspects of what makes a proper tripod grip. And there are several aspects of that. One of the main things is taking the ring and pinky finger out of the equation. Okay, that way we're not getting things like this or things like this. And then it's pulling the pencil back into the web space. You're going to see a lot of pencil rockers where they rock the pencil forward. And when you do that, you're putting the strain of the hand up here on the knuckle and the finger. And if you write like this long enough, your hand's going to get really sore right in here. If you do a grip like this, a lot of times you're leaning your hand to the side. Where you really want the weight is right here on the meaty ball part of your palm. So if you rest this on your page and you have a proper tripod grip, you should be using your fingers to write, and then you're just sliding your hand along as you go, not using your entire hand to write, which is going to cause an awful lot of arm and hand fatigue. So the reason for the different parts of this product, they address all of that. The first thing you do is you slide this up over the wrist. The charm is there simply to occupy these two fingers and take them away from the grasp. Then you grip the pencil, and then you take this loop and put it over the top. This discourages you from trying to rock forward. Now, I can do that, but it's really difficult because of the strain on it. So it's basically forcing your hand into what they consider the proper tripod grip. So that being the case, it's very important to note that this is a tool that is designed to help develop a proper grip. It is not something that's to be used indefinitely. Once the child learns to keep the pencil back, to keep these two fingers out, they shouldn't need it anymore. So that's something that we try to stress because a lot of people say, well, you know, the child didn't like it, it felt uncomfortable. That's because it's forcing their hand to do something that they're not used to. But after time, they get acclimated to it, and then it just becomes habit. So the other thing to note that's also important is for left-handed people, which obviously this can be used on either hand. So lefties, as we all know, tend to want to curve around like this. The reason for that typically is so that they can see what they're writing and that they don't smudge their work as they're going across it. So this is going to cause a lot of hand and arm and wrist fatigue just simply because you're resting on the knuckle. You're curving the hand and the arm quite a bit here. And after a lot of writing, it's going to get sore and painful. So the HandiWriter gets your hand into the proper grip. And then what we tell people is for lefties, simply turn your page. If you turn it like this, now you can write and see everything you're doing. You're not going to smudge your work, and you're not going to get that hand fatigue, and you don't need to go up here and curve around. So it's a great, albeit simple tip that a lot of people don't notice. And it's something, you know, that my mom saw and told people all the time, simply turn your page. You don't really need to do that if you're right-handed because your hand is on this side of the writing utensil. But when it's on this side, it really helps to turn that. And it's just a great little trick.
Oh, thank you for the demo. I didn't realize the
Yeah.
the lefty right is totally
Oh, yeah.
differently.
Yeah.
So this actually lead to the perfect question, which is my next question is, who can use this particular product? And do you have a special recommendation as far as the best age of the kids that usually use your product?
We recommend kindergarten and up. Anything pre-K, the child isn't really at the developmental level to start working on things like that. So pre-K, or I'm sorry, kindergarten is a perfect age to start, and up from there. Now, once you get, I've had people come to me and at trade shows and say, I've got a 13-year-old that has a terrible grip and penmanship. That might be kind of difficult to correct. I'm not saying it can't be done, but ideally we want to start using this around kindergarten, first grade, to train the child to hold it properly, and then they just, without even thinking, develop that.
Okay. And the next question I have is, like, why is the proper pencil grip or pen grip is very important, and how does it affect the kids' development and learning?
Well, that's a great question. I'm glad you asked that. One of the reasons it helps is because it reduces hand fatigue and strain, which can lead a child to get distressed and not want to write anymore because their hands hurting. It develops better penmanship, and I know from seeing my daughters who have beautiful penmanship, they love to write because of that. It's kind of a work of art. And the reason that it's important is, for me, um, handwriting is a very basic and fundamental skill. I know personally, and I think I speak for most people when I say this, if I get a birthday card or a Christmas card or letter, uh, when it's handwritten, it means so much more to me. And it's more special than if I were to receive a text or an email. It's not only a form of communication, it's a form of expression. And I think it is crucial in this day and age of laptops and cell phones and voice to text and tablets, that basic skill be maintained. It needs to be taught, and it needs to be taught properly. It's very important that we don't lose that. And the Handy Writer is the perfect tool to help with that if needs be. And that's exactly what it was designed for.
Okay, and we have an audience question here. Is let's see, Tony's asking, can adult also use this product?
Well, they certainly can. There's no one that couldn't use it. It's just that, especially as an adult, if you've been doing something, if you've had a what we consider an inappropriate grasp for years and years and years and years, that could be very hard to correct. It's
Mm,
not to say it won't work. Ideally, we want children to learn this at age kindergarten and up. It's kind of like learning a second language. It's much easier for children to pick that up than it is for
mhm,
adults, but that doesn't mean that it can't be done. So an adult certainly could try it and see if it would help them out.
for sure, for sure. Yeah, I think my pencil grip is actually not the correct grip. I think I might need to correct it myself. Let's see. And my next question is, do you have any particular customer story that really stuck with you over the years since you take over the companies that you would like to share?
Um, I've got some pretty good and unique ones regarding some of our weighted products. Some letters I've received in regards to the product we're focusing on tonight with the Handy Writer. One that sticks out. I was doing a trade show in Indiana. It was an early childhood show, and so that's mostly going to be teachers and directors, a few OTs and PTs, but normally it's mostly early childhood teachers. And what's funny is when you come up to the booth and you see one of these laying on the table, it's very difficult to tell what it is unless you already know what it is. So typically I get people that walk up and say, "What is that?" So what I do is I just have them put it on and I show them, put this around your wrist, put the charm here. And then once I get them all set up, the usual reaction I get is, "Oh my gosh, look at that. That's so cool." And every now and then I get somebody that says, "Oh, I don't like that. That's awful." And I said, "Well, that's because it's forcing you to hold the pencil properly." So I had one particular teacher, I believe she was a first grade teacher, that put it on, and she just said, "Oh, I don't like that at all." And I said, "Well, you're an adult. It's designed as a tool to teach kids how to hold their pencil properly." And she's like, "Oh yeah, my kids would hate that. They'd throw it across the room." To which I laughed and I said, "I'll tell you what." And I reached over and I grabbed one. I said, "Here." I said, "Take one and try it out. And let me know if it works or not. My email address, everything's on the insert. So just let me know." And she was like, "Okay," kind of rolled her eyes. And I was like, "All right." So uh, 3 or 4 months went by and I got an email, and it just said, I don't know if you remember me. I was at the Indiana show and I already kind of had a feeling I knew who it was." And she was like, "All right, I got to hand it to you. The kid didn't like it at first, but we were persistent, and he had a really bad, almost like a claw grip," she said. And she said, I got to tell you, it actually worked, and he doesn't need it anymore. And he's actually got a really good tripod grip now. So, it was kind of a unique story in that she was so opposed to it in the beginning, but after trying it out, it really worked. And it's hearing things like that make everything I do worthwhile.
Thank you for sharing that. That's definitely a very unique story. And we also have a few live comment here. One of our live viewers saying that my first grader complained a lot about his hand hurting or getting tired quickly doing coloring or schoolwork. Do you think this, Brian? What do you think about this comment? Is it maybe related to how how the kids is holding the pencil?
Absolutely, absolutely. Especially at a first grade level, more than likely, they could be thumb wrapping, which I did not address that earlier. That's a biggie. When you thumb wrap, again, you're putting more strain. Let me get my camera right. You're putting more strain right here, and that's going to start to wear that down. You could, if you're writing a lot or coloring a lot, you could even develop blisters because of rubbing this constantly on paper. Again, where we really want the weight of the hand is right here. This is the meatiest part of the hand. It's got the most cushion. It's the most stout part, and that's what we want resting on the table. And then you're just using the fingertips to write your words or to color. And it's also important to note that this isn't just for pencils. It can be used on pens, crayons, markers. We just recommend a good 6-7 inches of writing utensil in order to have the product work properly. If you've got a crayon that's only this long, it's going to be very hard to get that upper loop over here. But if you're using, the Crayola markers, or I know nowadays they've got crayons that are much larger, you can absolutely use it for coloring and things like that as well.
Okay, thank you for sharing that. And for those of you that was wondering where can you find the product, you can find the deal that's going on the Century Deals websites, and you have all the informations on where you can redeem the deals as well. Right now, this week we're doing 20% off, and for the actual product, you can also find it on Amazon as well. So on the Amazon, you will find several different variations of the product. Right now, we have a few different variations. We have 4 packs, 4 packs, 8 packs, and 12 packs. And I think on the Amazon product listings, we're also trying to highlight the special features as well. So let me kind of okay, let me do this so you can see the Amazon listing a little bit better. So this is on the Amazon. You also explained on the main benefit that a lot of the things that Brian was mentioning earlier, and also you highlight like how it's really going to help your kid to correct the writing positions, and it's designed for both right and left-handed children, and you will definitely reduce the writing anxiety and the writing fatigue, like a lot of the viewer that was mentioning earlier. And inside the I think inside the product insert, there's also additional explanations, and there's also videos on HandiThings websites on how to really use the product properly. I think Brian also gave a wonderful product demo earlier on how to use it, but this is also kind of a visual explanation of how to use the product properly, so you can get the most benefit out of it. And let me see, there's another viewer commenting, said my 5 years old used jumbo pencil, but he's big on double-handed handwriting. We're working on correcting that now. Any comment on that, Brian?
Well, I'm trying to understand the double-handed. Are they? I'm assuming they're switching back and forth from right to left hand. And
yes,
if so, that's typically because of hand fatigue. If a child is holding the writing utensil improperly and their hand gets tired, then they're going to switch to the other hand, and then that hand's going to get tired and they're going to switch back and forth. So you should be able to figure out what their dominant hand is. Most people have a dominant hand. Some people are just ambidextrous and can do both well, but that's very rare. So once you figure out which hand is the dominant hand, you can certainly use the HandiWriter on that hand, and it should help tremendously with the hand fatigue.
Yeah, and like I mentioned earlier, for this week only, all the different variation that we have is 20% off. There's 4 packs and 8 packs. It depends on which one, and there's also 2 different variations of it. Maybe Brian, you can explain quickly on what's the difference between a HandiWriter and a Sport Writer.
Sure. The only difference between the HandiWriter and the Sport Writer is the charm. Now, we do have different colors, but the HandiWriters come in 4 different colors. We have blue, yellow, purple, and red, all of which have a dolphin charm on them. It's either going to be blue or purple, depending on which one you get. And then the Sport Writers have, obviously, sports balls on them. So we've got the football or American football, because I do have a lot of UK customers that for them, this is the football, which we call a soccer ball.
Yeah.
And then we've got the baseball and the basketball. They all work exactly the same. So it's honestly just the child's preference on color. And, if you've got one that's a big baseball nut, they're probably going to want a baseball HandiWriter, because it just makes it more fun. That's all of our products are designed in that aspect. It's learning and developing, but it's fun at the same time. That's why they're colorful and they have fun charms on them. And something I'd love to share for anyone that ends up getting one of these. I got a really cute email from a customer in England a few years ago, and she said her daughter loves to wear this at school all day, and when she's not using it, she takes the dolphin and tucks it into the pencil loop and wears it around like a bracelet. So she always has it ready, and she said she started doing it, and then all of her friends wanted to do it. So now there's all these, kids walking around school all day with a HandiWriter, but when they tuck it in, it's not dangling like that. So
I love that story. It could be a fashion accessory.
It could be, yeah.
Okay. Let's see. The viewer was explaining, that she was saying that her kids was using both hands, and sometimes both hands at the same time. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So that's that. I think that's definitely what you're referring to.
Yeah.
I think it's because of the hand fatigue. So the kids want to switch.
That's typically what that comes down to, is hand fatigue. Yeah. Now, if it were a 2 or 3 year old, that's that's not out of the ordinary, because they're just not there developmentally. But I think this was a first grader we were talking about. At that point, more than likely, it's because of hand fatigue.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So we are toward the end of our show today. So any other thing you want to share with our viewer today? And what's the best way for people to find more about HandiThings and all the different products that your company have?
Absolutely. All of our products, we have a variety of fine motor products, play mats that are all handmade here locally. And we have a variety of weighted products as well that are very popular. We have hand weights, arm weights, and leg weights. You can find all of our products at www.handithings.com. That's HandiThings.
I'll also put the link in the chat for the viewers, and I think we'll definitely have you back on again to talk about other products that you also have and that we are also working on which is the hand weight and the arm weight. So let me
Absolutely.
put the website. And before we end, for the live viewer, let us. It's time for the fun part. We're going to choose a live winner to receive an 8-pack handy writer. So let me show so Brian is showing what the winner is going to get, and this is how you're going to enter the giveaway. So the way you enter the giveaway is simply answer this question. I'm going to put it in the stream here. Okay. Okay. So answer the question why do you think a proper pencil grip or pen grip is a very important skill for your kids to learn? Just comment with the answer to that questions, and we'll pick a winner here in a minute or so. So again, the question is why is proper pen grip is a very important skill for kids to learn. Just comment with your answers, and we'll pick a winner here in the live stream. So for those of you that are still staying with us toward the end of the show, please comment with your answer in the comment sections, and we'll pick a winner here shortly. I see still that we still have about several people that's still watching us live. So for those of you that's watching, please comment in the comment sections, and we'll open for a few minutes so we can pick the winner for today's live stream. So.
And I also wanted to mention before we go that we have some very exciting news. We are, as of today, we've launched our new Amazon store. We've been working very hard with Jason and his team, and they've been wonderful. So visit Amazon as well. You can find all of our products there with pictures, videos, and descriptions. And we'd love to see you.
Oh yeah, thank you. So let's see. Tony is saying that proper handy writing and birthday card for kids.
Yeah,
Okay.
there you go.
Tony, thank you for sharing that. So Tony is also the founder of a wonderful organization called Autism Birthday Club. They send out birthday card to kids on the spectrum every single month. They have a few thousand members in their community actually. So Tony, thank you for bringing that up. Let's see. We have another viewer here. You say it help with legible writing and help with hand strains. Let's see. I couldn't see your name, so if you can also comment with your name here, so we know how to adjust you. For the live viewers, please also put in your name so we can pick a winner. Since you just show Facebook user on our end. So please, if you can put in the answer to your response with your name, so we know how to address you, and hopefully we can also find your information here. So okay, so it's Angela. Okay, so Angela will answer that, and let's see, we have another response saying that another Facebook user here saying that it is important to make sure those muscles do not get strained. Yeah, definitely. Thank you for sharing that. So again, please put in your name as well as we're trying to match. Sometimes the Facebook system doesn't always display the name. So it's kind of hard for us to pick the winner when we don't know who we are talking to. So please also comment with your name. So Brian here surely can pick the winner for today's giveaway, which is the handy writer that will be giving away. Let me see if I can see the name here. Okay, so I think Paige is the second one. Okay, Paige is saying that it is important to make sure those muscles don't get strained. And Angela is saying that it helps with legible writing and help with hand strains. And Tony is saying that it helps with proper handwriting and birthday card. And Jennifer is saying, Jennifer just saying awesome companies and product. Oh, thank you, Jennifer.
That's my sister.
Saying that. So, and okay, so Brian, you want to? I think Brian can. I think Jennifer can still. Is Jennifer also eligible for the giveaway, even so she's not answering the question? So, So I will let you decide, Brian. Pick a winner out of the 4 people that responded. So we have Jennifer, we have Angela, we have Anthony, and we have Paige. So go ahead and pick a winner, and we can
I think we're gonna
announce it.
go. We're gonna go with all these are great answers. I love them all. We're gonna go with Paige.
Paige, okay, Paige, congratulations! You just won one of the APAC HandiThings handy writers. It's a combination of both the dolphin and the sports. So please email us at hello@luckykid.com to redeem your prize. Our customer support team will get your informations and your addresses, so we can ship out your prize. So please email hello@luckykid.com to redeem your prize page, and we'll make sure we get that sent out to you early next week. And thank you again for all the live viewers for participating, and thank you again, Brian, for being on our show today. And hopefully, hopefully we'll get you back here soon. So thank you again, everyone.
It was my pleasure. I look forward to coming back. And thank you, everyone, for viewing tonight.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. And just a sneak peek, next week we'll be interviewing a different toy company that focusing on creating Montessori product. So stay tuned to next week's show as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week.